You need to stop the self-abuse and the self-gaslighting. You can stop the self-abuse and self-gaslighting. Let me explain what I'm saying. It's easy to feel the pain of abuse in a marriage to a narcissist. I mean, that can take many forms. To name a few, in this kind of marriage, a woman can fall into a pattern of self-judgment and self-blame, saying to herself, I should have seen the signs and not married him in the first place. I should be stronger and not put up to this mistreatment, or I shouldn't be so sensitive, right? Basically echoing what she's hearing from him. Feeling the imposter syndrome inside, the chronic negative self-talk, and of course, gaslighting oneself. And it's easy to identify when gaslighting is happening in the toxic relationship. If you need help understanding gaslighting in a narcissistic marriage, then definitely watch this video here. But what if you're gaslighting yourself, trying to make yourself believe something that you know intuitively, or you have evidence through your own senses that it's not actually true? If you need to understand self-gaslighting better, then definitely watch this video up there on self-gaslighting. Self-gaslighting is even more damaging to the soul because we don't automatically pick up that it's happening. In this video, let's see how we can end this kind of self-abuse. I'm Dr. Don, and I am the founder of the Russell Healing Institute. That's where we help women flourish in extremely difficult marriages if they have decided that they want to find a way to stay. Of course, if you've decided to leave, then leave. I'm not telling you what to do, of course, but if you, based on your own faith convictions as a follower of Jesus, for example, you want to stay faithful in the marriage, that's important to you, then we work with women that want to find a way to do that, to flourish and actually transform the relationship to be a good relationship for her and a relationship, of course, that honors the Lord. Click the link below to find out more about how we do that. Also, hey, while you're at it, subscribe to the channel, and that way you'll be one of the first to get access to new content that gets uploaded. And also, that's a way of helping other women get access to this content. I want to remind you, of course, that even though I'm a therapist, and I have been a therapist for almost 30 years, I'm not your therapist. So I ask that you would take full responsibility for yourself and use this information as information, not as professional therapy. So I want to help you stop self-abuse, stop self-gaslighting. So I'm going to walk you through that. It starts by understanding that the negative self-talk that I'm calling self-abuse, the self-gaslighting, is an operation that is going on in the mind. It is negative and destructive thinking. Now, here's where we're going to go deep here. You have more than one brain. You have more than one place where neurons connect and fire and process information. This is a relatively recent scientific discovery, but rest assured it's science talking here. It is new neuroscience. Your heart also has a cluster, not just your brain, I'm going to call your cranial brain, but your heart also has a cluster of roughly 40,000 neurons that connect and fire and process information. One important difference is that the heart brain, as opposed to the cranial brain, stores and processes emotional and somatic, meaning body sensation information, and stores memories of that sort. So it doesn't have thoughts the way we think of that term. So our heart doesn't sort of have the information, I need to pick up milk and bread on the way home from the grocery store information. On the way, right? That's up here. But our heart processes and stores and has information about, heartfelt stuff, right? When you stop to think about it, it's in our language all over the place. So there's a lot more that could be said about that. But for this conversation, it is enough to say that our heart has valuable information about what is best for our well-being and our flourishing. Now, a little aside, if you're a follower of Jesus, then you already know that the Bible actually finds the heart to be the center of the person, not the cranial brain. This is a little bit of a nuance. Western thought has been informed by Greek thought, which, made the brain up here like the peak of the person. That's not actually what the Bible says. Matthew 15:18, for example. But the things that come out of the mouth come from the heart, and these make a man unclean. John 7:38. Anyone who believes in me may come and drink, for the scriptures declare rivers of living water will flow from his heart. Gospel of John, chapter 14, verse 1. Jesus says, don't let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God. Trust also in me. You're starting to pick up a pattern here. And Romans 10, verses 9 and 10. If you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you'll be saved. For it is by believing in your heart that you will be made right with God, and it is by confessing with your mouth that you are saved. Okay, we could go on and on. That's just a little sample. So let's find a way to connect with and hear from your heart. So this is a mindfulness exercise, and this gets easier with practice. I invite you to practice this regularly. But for now, we're gonna kind of take it as a little bit of an experiment. It's a mindfulness exercise. And mindfulness, don't freak out with that term. Mindfulness is simply paying attention to what you're paying attention to. That's the definition I got from a Christian psychiatrist. Or to put it another way, it's choosing what you pay attention to. So in this exercise, we're going to be intentionally paying attention to what information your heart may have for you. And I thank a writer, author, and speaker, Greg Braden, for this heart-centered exercise. So do this with me right now, as you're watching this video. Just take a moment and turn your attention to your breathing first, and just listen to the inhale and the exhale. So breath in and breath out. And another breath in and a breath out. Now, take a moment and see if you can slow down the pace of your breath just a little bit. Again, a breath in and a slow exhale. And again, a breath in and a slow exhale. Okay. Now, place your hands over your heart. Your attention goes where you sense contact. Now, gently inquire of your heart and wait a moment to see if you can sense an answer coming from your heart. It will come to you if you allow it to surface and if you just sort of leave your attention on your heart. So, with your hand on your heart, just inquire in your heart. My heart, what do you want me to know? My heart, what do you want me to know? And just listen with some quietness and notice what comes up. Here's another inquiry. My heart, what do you need from me? My heart, what do you need from me? Again, just listen and sense what comes up from the heart into your consciousness. And one more inquiry. My heart, what is the wound from my childhood or elsewhere that is asking for a deeper healing? My heart, what is the wound from my childhood or elsewhere that is asking for healing? Just notice what comes up. And I encourage you to jot down whatever comes up to your consciousness. My heart, what do you want me to know? My heart, what do you need from me? And my heart, what is the wound from my childhood or elsewhere that is asking for a deeper healing? I know from our work, where we have the privilege of working with women that want to find a way to make their difficult marriages flourish. We've seen, as we've walked with those women, that very commonly when she stops and listens to her heart and she hears, for example, that her heart wants her to know that she is loved and she's worthy of love. It's a powerful message. It's a sacred moment. And we've also heard frequently from women that we work with in these difficult marriages, when she stops and when she listens to her heart with intentionality, that she hears things like, for example, her heart wants compassion from her. Again, sacredness. And similarly, the heart may reveal an experience or the word that leaves her. I'll put that differently. Similarly, the heart may reveal the wound from the past that is an unhealed wound that leaves her vulnerable, leaves her exposed to the gaslighting and the narcissistic abuse in the marriage. Doesn't necessarily means that she has to leave, but it means that she needs that healing so that she's no longer vulnerable to the gaslighting in the relationship. All right. I encourage you to practice that heart-centered mindfulness exercise. Again, I've adapted it from Greg Braden. You can find him on YouTube, and I'm grateful for his work in this area. And I invite you to practice this, make this part of your daily ritual of self-care, soul care. And again, I invite you to subscribe to this channel if you are not already. That helps other women find this kind of material. And leave a comment, leave a like, and let us know what's going on for you. And I wish you the very best in your journey.